Retirement planning. Now, this is something that everybody, I guess, at some point in time starts to become concerned with, or basically just wants to know, do I have enough money to live the lifestyle I want to live once I stop working? Life expectancy is definitely getting older. People are living longer now than they were, 20, 30 years ago. And so people are nervous. Do they have enough money to retire on and be able to enjoy life in retirement? And again, as I said earlier, with the population aging here, Canada, places like Japan, even the United States, people are wondering, do they have enough money to retire on? And first chart we have here just shows us very simply the life expectancy. And you can see here, the top line, probably the most important line, you can see a Canadian life expectancy from 1950 to 2024, and it is a steady climb, bottom left to the top right. People simply are living longer. I think a lot of that has to do with some of the rules that have been put in place. For example, you can't smoke in many of the buildings, if not all the buildings here in Canada. And I think when people stop smoking or not being able to smoke inside, I think that stopped many people from smoking. And as we know, cancer, when you smoke, obviously, one of the causes of lung cancer. And I think that has really helped the average life expectancy, people living longer. And I think that has really helped. Be interesting to see or compare Canadian and maybe US to maybe some other countries where they don't have the same rules. But obviously, people are living longer and therefore more concerned that maybe their money or maybe their money won't last longer. So that's a concern. But I think the main part here that anyone who's watching today, what the main part I wanted to get across, the main point I wanted to get across are the questions that you should be asking yourselves, you should be asking your investment advisor. And these are the questions that I ask my clients for, or to get the answers for when I make a retirement plan, when I run some of the data, some of the information through our software, and then the software spits out to us the retirement plan and gives us all the numbers. What is some of the data that I plug in? Well, we have our next chart here that goes through some of the questions and some of the points that I talk about. First one, life expectancy. Most people will say, well, Alan, run the data or run the numbers till age 85. And that's approximately today what life expectancy is for people living in Canada. But some may say 80, some may say 90 if they have longevity in their family. So at what, I guess, age do you want us to run this scenario out to? Inflation rate, as we know, is extremely important. If we did some reports with current inflation rate or the inflation rate over the last couple of years, it would have been pretty high. But we tend to use 2.5% inflation rate. We don't want to use a 2% rate. Maybe 3 is a little on the high side. Maybe 2.5 is about right. Rate of return on your investments is extremely important because if you have let's take a $50,000, $100,000 portfolio and you want to pull out a certain amount of money per year, but how much are you pulling out as a percentage? And if you're making a good rate of return, obviously you'll be able to make back some of the money that you're pulling out, and hopefully you can live off of the growth and not touch the capital original principal. So rate of return on your investments. Now, you can calculate a current rate of return that you're getting, the average rate of return, and use that. Or for some people, you may want to take a conservative rate of return. Right now, low risk investments are probably paying in that 4.75, 5% range. Maybe you want to use that. Maybe you want to use a conservative growth rate of 7 or 8%. So right now, medium risk is probably earning close to 10, maybe 10 to 12%. So you need to choose a rate of return that is comfortable for the person, for the investor, and that should go along with the type of investing and the type of products they have in their portfolio. When does a person want to retire? What age? It's obviously important because that's the age that you stop probably contributing to your plan and start to pull money out of your investment plan. CPP and OAS, do you qualify for OAS? Would you have some of your old age security clawed back because your income is too high? CPP we all get if we pay into it. So have you paid into CPP over the years? And what are you getting from that? We should factor that in as well. And lastly, when does a person want to begin to withdraw? As I said, most people, when they retire, they start to withdraw money. But for some, they have built up a nice nest egg and they may not need to withdraw money right away the day after they stop working. they may have enough money to last them maybe a year or two before they start eating into or pulling out money from their RSPs and investments. So all these factors or all these things will play a factor in building out a plan, in a retirement plan, to give individual investors that peace of mind and knowing that, yes, I'm in a good spot. I have enough money here to retire. And as you can see, I didn't even factor in things such as your home, which is a big part for many people, downsizing their home, getting the money that after the sale of their home, moving into something a little bit cheaper, and then taking the difference and either investing it or using that in some capacity to live off of. So a lot of things go into that retirement plan or that planning. And so how do you know if you have enough to retire on and live off of? I think you need to go through this exercise. And that's something I do quite often for individual investors, and I can do for all of you.